Today we're going to be looking at the Tier 9 Progetto 66. This is the new Tier 9 auto-reloading heavy tank. You do get a few different guns actually on this tank, which is interesting. And there they all are. Dispersion values between all the shells are similar, let's say. They're all within, margin of error. And not really going to make too much of a difference. You can get it all the way down to 0.32. This has nice ammo types, or amount of ammos, with 36. So, unlike the Rhino, where you get 33, which is just an awful number to have shells with, you'll actually be able to take like a decent amount of this and a decent amount of this. Obviously, HE, you don't take it, or in my opinion, you don't take it, because it's just going to take way too long for you to reload all of those shells. Yeah, I've actually heard good things from people that have played this tank, saying that it's actually pretty decent. So we are going to have to find out. As you can see, its turret armor is 200mm thick. That is sloped, so it's probably around about 230, maybe 240. It does have a cupola, but like, what is that? That thing is tiny. Hopefully that's not a hitbox, because if that's a hitbox, then that's going to be awful. But we'll see. Let's jump into a game, shall we? Okay, so after about 5 minutes of matching, we've managed to get into a game. It's so annoying that you kind of only have to play, you can only kind of play tier 10 if you actually want fast matching times on the test server. But oh well, we'll see what we can do. Straight away, yes, this tank is fast enough to do stuff. Like that dispersed is not great, but hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. 400 alpha damage is pretty good. 900 meters a second heat. That's not good. Like that's just oh dear. However, we do have no arties, so we can actually test this tank's hold down capability out. Okay. Yeah, we take one shot, it's fine. I want to really test this tank's armor out quite a bit. So, yeah, we can actually push this. Not the best of dispersion values on the move. I'm going to wait for this. Put one in. We should be able to put the second one in a second. And I wanted to try and get a shot there, but it's not really working. And this is the awkward thing about this tank now. Because you fired all the shells, you now have just awkward DPM. So, yeah. Wow. Okay. What we're going to try and do is do as much as we can to try and angle against these tanks. Maybe we can set this guy on fire. I don't know. 300 damage roll for a 400 alpha damage gun. I want a refund on that. Maybe we can bounce a shot or two. No, doesn't look like it. Unfortunately, the DPM on this tank is just too low. It's a bit like... This is the problem with all the tanks. What it needs is all of its shells. And if it doesn't have all of its shells, then it's just so insanely awkward to try and play. It doesn't quite have enough gun depression to go over this ridgeline. However, the armor of this tank's doing okay, so it's holding up. At least against, some tier 8s and 9s. Right here, I would fire heat. But, unfortunately, because of the ultra long reload, you know what? Next shot we're going to be loading heat. Decent enough accuracy, I guess. But yeah, the dispersion values of this tank, when it's on the move and turning the turret and stuff like that, is just not very good. I wanted to fire heat for that tortoise, but I guess we're not. So what I'm going to do is fire once into... Wow. I mean, I can't really blame the gun, it's just RNG for that. But yeah, this is not looking so great, honestly. I mean, I should just let it reload fully, right? Like, that's what I should do. But it's just so awkward to play like this. Like, the reload time is so long and you want to get damage. But the problem is that if you do damage, you're just sitting here doing nothing for the next, like, however long it is. I need to be careful of the Borsig as well. I really wish Battle Hits was part of the core game, so you could actually see where you got hit. I'm probably going to get spotted by him. I'm not too sure if I can side-scope in this. You should have enough view range to spot him. We don't get spotted, so he's not right in that bush. But he could be just there. Us not getting spotted here means that he's probably fell back. Okay. That's really weird, actually. I guess he moved? We're just going to wait. And now. Not quite. Not quite. Are we going to get an extra shell in? Probably not. Unless he goes all the way back, which I don't think he's going to do. So, yeah, the tier 9. Again, it's just much like the tier 8. It's just nothing special about it. It doesn't have really, really good DPM, or even decent DPM, to be honest. Like, the DPM of this thing is not good. Much like the tier 8. Oh, now those shots go straight, right? Yeah, this is much just following on from the tier 8. It's just not special in any way. The only thing... Like, the improved auto-reloading mechanic isn't special. It's just unique. And unique doesn't mean that it's good. This is just so... It's just a playable tank. It's nothing insanely good. And to some people, that's going to be, you know, really positive. Because they don't want another, you know, let's say, like, they don't want a chieftain running around. Which is understandable. The chieftain is broken. But you've also got to make it good enough so that it's still a decent tank. And I've said it about the Bizonte. I don't think the reload times or anything like that would be as bad if the gun handling was better. Because if you can hit more, then the longer reloads don't really matter as much. And the exact same thing can be said if you buff the reload time but then done the accuracy. However, I would rather it be better accuracy than the reload time. Just simply because I would just much prefer hitting stuff. Over just buffing the reload and you're done. Doesn't really fix the problem.
I'm not sure I understand.
Doesn't really fix the issue for me. Whereas if you buff the aiming time, you're then buffing it to a stage where it is good enough and it doesn't need to be touched, because clearly they really don't like having DPM on these tanks. So you just buff the third reload. Okay, so we finally found one. Found a match, that is. Yeah, just going back to the point about the gun handling, right? This is fine. But when it turns the turret and you start, you know, blooming out like this, anything, you know, further away than where the 60 TP is, you're probably going to miss. Like, that's just how it is. And if they just buff that a little bit, like, bearing in mind, I'm using IRM and vert stabs. Like, vert stabs should be enough on the majority of tanks to make it okay. So, yeah, that's how I feel about things. Managed to put one into him. Again, waiting for the reload. 11.3 seconds does feel quite long. However, I don't think it's unplayably long, right? It's when you've fired the 2 shells, or all your shells, and you're sitting there waiting for half an hour like I was last game for a shell to arrive. That's when it feels too long and unplayable. So yeah, and waiting 37 seconds, you can't always do that because you're not playing this the exact same way as an autoloader. As an autoloader, you kind of hide for a little bit, you take your damage and back off. If you played it like this, you'd be like the worst autoloader in existence. Like, if you, because then you would have to compare this tank to like a 5120, which has like 1.8k clip potential. I want to try and get a shot onto this. I did not mean to hit that, but sure, I'll take it. Just going to back up here. That's actually the tier 9. I thought it was the tier 8. Anyway, we're hold down here. We don't have to move. We can just sit here and just be patient. We don't have to try and progress this. That was bad accuracy. Right now, I'm just going to wait for the reload. I'm not going to peek that again. I don't need to peek that again. We're just going to wait for the reload and just see what happens. Interestingly enough, he's gone unspotted because of that bush. I actually kind of want to see how good his armor is, because that'll give me an idea of what it's like. And there's 2 here, so we can see. Okay, so... Come on, go hold down. Man, I just want to see what your armor's like. Okay, so it's a... Yes, it's a 50-50 here. On that plate there. So... That's interesting. Is that little spot a weak spot? No. So the gunman, it seems pretty strong. But yeah, that is a 50-50. Not quite. Not quite got the intra-clip reload for that. 3.5 for an intra-clip reload is quite long. It is quite long. It doesn't really need to be that long. Like, you could make it 3 seconds like the Kran, or even like the what's it called has the tier 8 has with 3 seconds. We're just gonna wait and wait and wait. Accuracy is not the best, however, it's definitely not unusable. Let's see, can it side scrape? I'm not so sure. We can actually just take a hit from this this Progetto, and we can go and kill him for it. So you see how this is all completely red. There's nothing really that I can pen here, right? So even that Cupola I can't really pen. Kind of interesting. Armor-wise, this seems pretty decent. However, as soon as you fire heat, I think that this tank is going to be non-existent. You fire heat and you just pen that every single time, that's going to be horrific for this tank. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Obviously, we're not getting loads of damage, right? I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to see how this tank plays. So yeah, what do I think about this tank? Well, for a start, it's not unplayable, but again, it's exactly the same as the tier 8. It's just okay. Like, there's no really good features about this tank. DPM is better, for sure. However, it still suffers from that stupidly long reload time when you've unloaded, you know, all these shells. It's just way too long. And actually, it's exactly the same reload time. Like, it doesn't change the fact that giving it more alpha makes it feel better. Sure, you'd have a better clip potential. But it doesn't make it magically a million times better because you've gone up a tier. Like 1.2k for 3 shots is not insanely good. And it's just... Oh, sorry, I said in the video earlier that this had a 3-second shell entry clip reload. This is actually the exact same. So apologies. This is 3.5 and this is 3.5 as well. But yeah, buffing the alpha does not magically make this tank tier 9, right? Again, armor-wise, it's okay, not excellent. Upper hull, you're probably going to bounce a few shells. However, it was a 50-50 when I was looking at it. So keep that in mind. And if you're really going to try and pen this, I mean, you can probably pen it pretty reliably along this lip here. Or alternatively, maybe even these are a weak spot. I'm not sure. Little Rositas, look at him. But yeah, this tank, good, playable, not excellent though. If you did enjoy this video, or are enjoying these videos that I'm making on the new Italian line, then make sure that you leave a like, as it does help me out a lot. If you don't like them, then please leave a dislike and explain why in the comment section down below. And either way, whatever you do, I'll see you all hopefully in the next one.